it's always a fun opportunity to go down there. Jerry's World, one of my favorite stadiums to play at. The environment's always going to be great. It's Eagles versus Dallas. So we're excited for it. We know they're a different team than what you see early in the season. Obviously, this man over here, Tank, you got to see a small sample of that on Monday night when they played the Raiders because the game kind of got out of hand. But we're excited for the opportunity and we're excited for that matchup.
Quinnen Williams down in the middle of that defense. What are you seeing after watching that Raiders tape?
He's a heck of a player. I don't know why New York traded him, to be honest, but hey, I'm not gonna get into all that. But sadly he's in Dallas. But I love our guys, so I love that matchup. We know it's gonna be a tough matchup, but something that we gotta keep an eye out for. But they have great players on all levels, on all three levels. So we just gotta go out there and kind of get back to playing our football and executing and doing the little things right, doing the things that takes no talent, as Coach Sirianni loves to say, and we should be all right.
And as you work to get this offense rolling, maybe weekly, how have things changed or adapted as you're trying to get it right, or has it stayed the same this season, trying to get this offense going?
Yeah, you adapt, but it just kind of hone in and focus on more the little things. That's how you get it to going. I feel like that's how you change it up. Obviously the last two games we played. Before going to bye, it seemed like we figured everything out and everything was clicking. In the last two games we played on offense, we didn't play to the level of expectation that we have. But I don't really say too much change. Obviously you focus a little bit more, but come to work every single day, continue to fall in love with the process, and you got to go out there and you just got to produce. And that's where we're at right now. Tired of talking about it, just going out there and making plays and letting the game come to us.
No secret, no Lane Johnson, tough to overcome. What have you seen from Fred to overcome that big challenge, that big hole on the Eagles' offensive line?
Yeah, anytime you lose lanes, it's tough. He's a heck of a player, Hall of Fame player. I think he's the best player on our team, to be completely honest. But we got so much trust in Fred. I'm happy that Fred is back here. I think the energy that he brought, the times that he came into the game, he's played at a high level. He's a star in this league, in my opinion, and I'm excited for him to be able to go show that to the Eagles and go able to show it to all other 31 teams. Because at the end of the day, this is a business, and we know what his contract is, and I love Fred, to be completely honest. So I want him to go out there, play at a high level, to show everybody what's he about, and he can get what he deserves.
What about playing in another division game? You haven't put anybody in your division in a little bit. How important are getting those wins?
Yeah, they're always big. They're always big. We have a great opportunity to do something, or to get us closer to something that we want to do, and that's clinch the East. So that's on our mind, obviously. But we know that it's hard to go out there and win. We know how good they are on all phases, and especially when Dak's healthy, and which he is, and playing at a high level. So it's gonna be a tough matchup, but we look forward to it. What are you doing, Like, why am I answering a question? All I see is his face. But we look forward to it.
Hey, Saquon, if you look at your career, your best, yards per game, yards per carry, comes in November and end of December. Is there something late in the year before back that allows you to do that?
I did not know that. Okay. That gives me something to look forward to. I guess, to be honest, that's how I train. Real football happens later in the season. And that's where you want to be at your best, and especially when you get into that run to go into the playoffs and to get into the playoffs. So I did not know that stat. I don't know why. I never even looked at that, to be honest. But I guess that's a product of my mindset and the way that I train off season, the way that I try to train during the season, and hopefully that stays true, and I'm able to turn it up and get the one game going for the offense.
It's the same thing for some other backs. Like Derrick Henry, there's a school of thought. It gets cold and it gets late in the year. Guys don't want to tackle as much. It's validity to that.
I think so. I think that could be true, but I'm gonna have to go with I don't know Derrick. Like, me and Derrick aren't best friends, but we keep in communication here and there, and I follow him on social media, and I'm able to see how he trains, and I know kind of the work that he puts in. So no surprise. The guys who put in the work in the off season, the guys who put in the work during the season. When it gets later in the season, we stay healthy and whatever to break off big runs and dominate games.
Sorry, with the QB plus one game, not as much of a factor or used as much this year in terms of like zone reads and RPOs. Has that had any impact on the other run game?
I've missed the first part. QB plus.
QB one run game.
Oh,
in terms
QB.
of like zone reads.
Yeah.
Typically when unblocked defender, he's taking on they're taking a player out. And they have to count for him in the run game.
Yeah.
Do you feel like just not having as much of that has affected the run game?
No, I think there's so much that goes into it. There's a lot of stuff that goes into why I feel like that we're not executing, at the level we executed last year. And like I always say, you gotta look first. You gotta look inside first, and that starts with me. I gotta be better. I gotta make more plays. But I think there's more than goes into it than just we're not doing QB runs. In my opinion,
defense is taking that away.
I don't know. I think defense is just trying to stop the run. That's kind of the best way. They're doing a really good job of making it one line in defense, muddying things up, movements, creating penetration, all the things that since the beginning of football that it's harder to run the football. The defense has been doing a really good job of that, and we just got to get back to playing our style of football. And I got to make plays when they're there.
I was going to ask you about that too, because the stack box rate is still very high. I was wondering if you guys, after the success against the Giants, did you see any benefit of that in terms of like at least against the Packers that maybe they weren't stacking it as much, or do you think you need multiple weeks of a certain amount of run success to make them not stack the box as much?
I'm kind of confused with that question. Are you saying they're stacking the box more or
they're
not?
Still stacking the box a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if you saw any incremental change after the Giants game.
No. I think, I say this in a humble way. I'm like not trying to be arrogant. If you come and play the Philadelphia Eagles and your mindset is not to not stop us from running the football, then you probably should be fired, in my opinion. So no matter what we do, like that's just what happens when you have the year that we had last year and when you have 2,000 yards rushing. And I guess maybe the game we had against the Giants kind of, woke teams up again. But yeah, we just got to do a better job. It's not really about, the numbers. I know you're into numbers. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it always comes down to what are we doing? And I firmly believe in that. I don't care if there's 20 guys in the box. If we run the play with the belief that it's going to pop and everyone, take care of their details, we should be all right.
With My Cause, My Cleats, why is Unite for Her and CHOP important to you?
Unite for Her, I'm using it because I have some people close in my family, friends who are basically family members that are going through a tough time, and me partnering up with CHOP and having to walk in April 26, 2026, we're two main focus. So usually you do one foundation or one event on both cleats, and I wanted to kind of show love to both.
Nick Sirianni has been so honest this season about protecting. Priority number one in this offense. You see Jalen Hurts' success in that, no matter what it looks like. How have you seen that stay consistent with this offense as it's evolving?
I mean, there's a stat out there. We're like 95 or like higher than 90% winning when we don't turn the ball over and when we win the turnover battle. That's a product of having really good coaches, and that's a product of having really good players. So we harp on that. We focus on that, take pride in it. And that's what we got to continue doing with making more explosive plays. There's so many things that go into it being, a better team. But we definitely do take pride.
I think we're doing very good at film this week. We're studying. We're looking at the first game. I didn't get to play, so I'm watching more of what the other guys did against their O-line. I'm just going off that.
How different did they look from the film you watched from the first game to now?
I'll say I got to look at it a little bit more. Give me to tomorrow would have been the first time, so we get more into it. But you see they more experienced with their new guy. He's learning more. He's getting better at doing little things that O-linemen need to do. I'm just saying that because I'm gonna be going against him, most of the time. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it.
You mentioned the rivalry. Obviously, the fan base goes nuts about that matchup. Do you guys feel that too? Just given the familiarity you have playing them multiple times a year, and then kind of feeling the fans breathing down your neck about how much they hate Dallas?
Yeah, I just follow the fans.
Yeah.
No, I give the fans what they want, man. This it's probably a bigger game for the fans than us because you hear them all 24/7. They could do all the talking, do all the stuff like that. But I'm out here playing for my family, fans, and the team. So, yeah.
What'd you think of JD getting Player of the Week?
That's on fire. I ain't gonna lie. Talking about special teams player and then Player of the Week. Yeah. That's different. And first in the Eagles' history. Congrats to JD, man. That's on fire. I love that.
You guys with the batted balls, you've always had a knack for it. What goes into that?
Man, it's just something we work on all the time. And, in practice, we can't touch the quarterback, so that's one way just to affect practice. And last week, JD had about 2 or 3 in practice, and it translated to the game. And then had me put in my mind that, if I'm not getting back there, I can get a batted ball. The ball's coming out pretty low. From last game, that's what we did.
Jalen, Vic said you've kicked your game up to another level because maybe conditioning is better and your health is better. How do you feel about those things?
Hey, whatever Vic say is right. Vic gonna keep it real with y'all. He keep it 100. And I feel better working on conditioning and stuff like that, and it's showing up.
And the health, the injury feels better. The shoulder, elbow, or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's a decent amount of stuff, but I don't let it distract me. I just work on it every day, like I say, every week, and try to be prepared for the game.
But is it feeling better?
Oh yeah, it's feeling better for sure.
In recent weeks, there have been 3 or 4 plays that we've asked Vic about. Like take Jalen Carter sack, for instance, and he says, well, it's actually caused by Jalen Carter at the line of scrimmage. Are you seeing, a lot of times this year where you're making impacts that don't necessarily show up in the stat sheet per se?
Oh yeah, we all give props to each other. I don't know if he came up to me after that play, but usually when somebody helps us make a play, we thank them. If you seen last year with Nolan trusting me to run that stunt versus the rounds, I said thank you for trusting me, man. Let's do it. Stuff like that, and. They come to me and say, that's an assist. We give each other assists, even though it's not in the stat sheet and stuff like that, but we give each other assists just to know that, hey, you're the reason that I got this sack, or you're the reason I got this tackle, etc.
Do you feel this?
Track assist?
No.
Do you feel the same satisfaction for plays like that than you would if it was a stat for you in the stat sheet?
I would prefer a stat, but I'm always here to help my teammate. I want to see everybody do good around me, so I'll take that too.
So when you get a guy like Jalen Phillips that comes to the team, late in the season, sort of, how long does it take to build that trust with him?
Man, off the rip, he got my trust, man. Until he do something where I'll be like, damn, all right, look, we got to talk about that. There's nothing. He's been playing his ass off, some good rushes off the edge. I've been seeing that transition from Miami. He's just playing like a dog right now.
Jalen, given what happened with you personally in the first matchup, what's the significance of this one for you?
Oh, no, we're not worried about that. We here where we at right now, and at the end of the day, everybody playing, so that's all we're worried about.
How do you reflect on sort of your growth since then from week 1 to...
I'm not even thinking about it.
With Morrow, he's taken a big step forward. Saw him line up at end. That's a new tweak. What have you seen from his development behind the scenes?
Morrow, he a dog, man. He can line up anywhere. You see him at nose sometimes. You see him at end, like you said. He's a smaller guy compared to the normal DTs out here. And you just see him working, bro. And I see people on X all the time mentioning him, saying like, "Oh, look at Morrow with this move," and they don't get that many views, but I let him know I see that jump. And he believes in himself, and we go out there, we trust each other, and we work off each other.
Having come into the league with him, what stands out most about the way he works?
Morrow?
Yeah.
Man, Morrow a hard worker. Like, if you talk to Vic about the box drills or talk to Hurts about any conditioning and stuff like that, Mo is always first. He's a dog, man. I know he's small. He's my dog. He always first, but you can't take that away from him. His hustle is 110% every time.
So you mentioned you're probably going to go against Booker, the rookie, right, at guard.
Yeah.
What do you see from him? I know Jihad and him are pretty good friends.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let me go talk to Jihad.
Yeah, okay.
But no, he a rookie. He gonna make rookie mistakes out there. That's probably get seen on film. But he got one of the best guards in the league on the other side of him. He's probably learning from. So he's getting a little learning experience, especially with his O-line coach and stuff like that. But no, he's gonna get better every day.
Do you like to lick your chops a little more when you go against a rookie?
Nah, it's more of a guy like who say he like to see the fear come out of people, and I ain't really got no fear. So we gonna see what's going on with that.